Legend Eneru debuted on the 23rd of November 2017. This Sugo-Fest batch focused on the villains of the Straw Hat Pirates throughout their journey on the Grand Line, and the characters that were featured in this batch included Gecko Moria's strongest underlings, Mr. Zero Crocodile, Utopia, Rob Lucci, Dark Justice, as well as Bartholomew Kuma, a crew annihilated. And the Sugo-Fest exclusive character of the batch had a unique design that aimed to make the player play in a new and interesting way with the mechanic of overhealing. By using this mechanic to their advantage, players could launch a powerful special that could deal immense damage to the enemy. Introducing Kami Eneru Endless Vase. In this series, we'll be traveling back in time to experience some of the older Sugo-Fest exclusive characters in their prime, aiming to show just what it was like to use these characters on their debut. I hope you enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's enter the Legends of OPTC. Thank you very much for checking out another episode of the Legends of OPTC series, and today we're having a look at the V1NL Sugo-Fest batch. This is a pretty interesting batch. It actually came out while I was actually in Japan for the very first time, which was pretty cool, so I actually did a couple pulls while I was over there with my buddies. Didn't go too well, but we eventually got him a few months later, I believe during the anniversary. But let's just go ahead and jump into it, because this is a very interesting batch where they mainly focused on the villains of the One Piece series thus far. So the first one here we have is Gecko Moria. Shout out to the database for putting the artworks back up, that's awesome. So Gecko Moria is a strength-driven fighter with a captain ability that was pretty bad, and a special ability, 17-turn cooldown, was very high. Strength, int, and dex characters will randomize all their non-matching slots, and then boost the attack of those types by 1.75 for 2 turns. Not too bad. It was an okay special. Multi-turn attack boosters were pretty valuable, and also it did shuffle non-matching slots. If you already had them as matching, it wouldn't shuffle them away, so it was okay. This Moria really doesn't see that much play. Artwork looks good though, with the silhouettes of the Straw Hats at the front, looks really cool, but not an amazing rare recruit character. Next is Mr. Zero. Now this character actually still sees some niche usage just due to the support effect of the character. Int, striker driven, captain ability was bad. Special ability, 15-turn cooldown, does a bit of damage to all enemies, and then reduces the special cooldown of striker characters by 1 turn, and then also boosts the attack and the slot effects of strikers by 1.5 for 1 turn. So one special to get you a multiplier of 2.25 when you take in the attack and the orb boost together. Pretty useful actually. Also has the sailor effect to resist special reverse, has the cooldown special ability, actually a pretty solid unit on release, and of course eventually got a very good support effect attaching to, a lot of the characters from the Baroque works, saying that when you reach the final stage, reduces the supported character's cooldown by 1, reduces the supported character's special bind by 3 as well. This was very good when the fear debuff eventually came into the game for some Robin characters to remove some special bind. Pretty decent support, but didn't see too much play on release, but it had a couple of nice usages on striker-based teams. Rob Lucci is the next one in this batch. He is a dex fighter slasher character with a captain ability that is bad, and then a special ability on a 10-turn cooldown, which is pretty good for back in the day. Would be a 10% health cut to all enemies, reduces the defense of all enemies by 50%, and also it will give you a 1.75 orb boost to all characters. This is a really good special, and this is around the time period where conditional boosts were becoming more and more common, or a lot of people were taking more notice of conditional boosts. So the fact that this character had a defense down effect was very useful, especially when we get to the Lucy batch, because I believe that's when the Dex Rare Recruit Cavendish got released, and partnered up really well with this guy to get a conditional boost, and you get an orb boost, you get a health cut, really solid Rare Recruit across the board. So really nice that Rob Lucci got a brand new amazing unit. And then we have the best Rare Recruit of the batch, and this is honestly probably, out of all the batches that we've talked about in the past, this might be one of the most used Rare Recruits still to this day. This Kuma got such an amazing limit break, it made him so insanely valuable, and he has a good support as well. This unit is so good. So Bartholomew Kuma, Sai, Shooter Cerebral, and Captain Effect is not really that important, but a special ability on a 15-turn cooldown. It doesn't mention his limit break cooldown, but I believe it did go down a little bit. Reduces Bind and Despair by 7 turns, recovers 20% of the crew's max HP, and has a low chance to instantly defeat each enemy. So it says 10% chance chance per enemy. I mean, the blow-away mechanic is interesting. It wasn't the main reason why this character was used. I mean, a little bit of health recovery is always nice, but this effect, 7 turns of Binding Despair removal, is always insanely valuable. His support effect, Peruna and attaching to Moria as well, just resist 5 turns of despair whenever you're inflicted with it. The best despair removing support that we have in the game. And then we also have his amazing effect when you get his limit break with double special activation, which means that you can get 14 turns of Binding Despair removed, and then if you add sockets on top of it, that's 17 turns of Binding Despair removed with 1 unit. Like, that's just insanely valuable. And as I said, probably one of the best rare recruits that has ever released in the game's history. And now we go to a character that basically doesn't see any more play at all, which is going to be Legend NLV1. Artwork looks pretty cool. I remember when he first came out on Japan, I was so hyped for this guy because we wanted a Legend NL. We finally got him. And on release was a little bit of an odd character. And let's just go through it, okay? So he's a quick shooter striker, really good class and type combination there. The captain ability of this guy reduces the HP of all characters by 20%. Yes, you heard that correctly. You actually lose 20% of your max health when you use this guy. And if you use double NL, it's 20% and then another 20% taken away. You lose a lot of your max HP. It boosts the chances of you getting recovery slots and makes them beneficial to all characters. And then boosts the attack of all characters by 2x to 3.25 times x, depending on the amount that you healed in the previous turn. So it says here 10,000 HP. If you healed up to 10,000 HP, you would get the max multiplier of 3.25 in the following turn. So you may think when you look at this captain effect, why would you want reduced health and then have a bunch of recovery slots to heal up? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, when you look at his special ability, it does make sense because it does 10 times the excess healing that you've done before you launch the special in typeless damage to all enemies. So he's a wave clearing special, and as it says, it's excess healing. So if you don't have that much HP, every recovery slot that you use to heal with, you have a higher chance of that being overheal. So that's the way that this character works, and I think you have to heal for a pretty decent amount actually. So it says that it's 10 times the multiplier of excess healing, and the max cap is 2 million, so you actually have to heal 200,000 HP to reach the max multiplier of 2 million damage, which is honestly a lot. That is a lot to heal in one piece of content just to reach that 2 million damage. But of course, if you're able to do that, and there are ways to do it, which we hopefully will showcase in this video, you can really abuse it to just do huge wave clear to just destroy enemies, which is really, really cool. Cooldown pretty high though, 16 turns is pretty ridiculous. And of course, when this character got the super evolution, they lowered, well, they didn't really lower the requirement, but they basically made it so that he does more damage, and he was a lot easier to achieve that damage too. So yeah, upon super evolution, he was seeing a lot of play, and still some people opt to use him in today's day and age. But I think this is going to be a really fun character to showcase on the Legends of OPTC series. So let's see what kind of content we're going to be playing today. So we've got a few pieces of content. We have Colosseum Killer, Colosseum Icaros, and Colosseum Ideo. So we're really hoping that we can showcase some really cool stuff with NL today, with huge wave clearing mechanics. Hopefully we get a really good run today. Let's see what we're actually going to be challenging. Really intrigued to see what we're going to get. Oh, we're going to get Colosseum Killer. Yeah, so I don't think this one's actually been showcased on the Legends of OPTC series thus far. So let's go ahead and build a team and take on Colosseum Killer. What kind of multi was that?
It's come back.
Oh my god, I still haven't even...
What the...
Alright, let me sit back up.
Alright, my one. Oh, NL, yes, let's go!
Yes!
Woo!
Alright, I'm alive.
We out here, boys.
We're good.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
And here we are back in the game now with my man Eneru, the so-called Kami of Skypiea. While unnerved by Luffy, his only natural enemy, he kept his cool and engaged him in a fierce battle. Defeated, he failed to destroy Skypiea, but reached his ultimate goal, the land of the endless Vast. Here we are with my man V1 Eneru with the max sockets, and you see we're running some pretty weird sockets. We do have the recovery boost, which means every time we have a recovery slot and we heal with it, we actually heal for more HP, and this type of slot was very useful for NL back in the day. And you don't see any cooldown either, because typically it takes you a long time to get through content, so having additional cooldown at the start of the quest doesn't really mean much, right? So this is what we're running with today, and hopefully we can get the job done. I really hope that we can get this done. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So This team today, we have a lot of Sugo-Fest exclusives here. We've got V1 Law, who's going to help us go through barriers with NL Special, and we kind of going to need that. We've also got Marco and Shirahoshi. Those are the two big ones. They helped a lot back in the day with NL with healing, because they provide so much goddamn healing that, like, their special alone will help you charge your special considerably. Plus, Marco provides a really nice orb boost as well. Then we also have V1 Akainu. Now, V1 Akainu and Elizabello, those characters are kind of... Well, Elizabello's there specifically for the final boss stage, because the boss actually does revive. So my whole plan for this is to use NL on stage 4, use another NL on stage 5, and then on the revive we use Elizabello to kill him. That's the idea. And then we also have Akainu, who's going to provide a bit of damage on the final boss stage if we don't have our special fully charged, because he has type advantage and he provides a boost to characters with a 50 cost or higher. And luckily, like, the whole team is 50 cost or higher pretty much, right? So it actually works out pretty well. Another thing that we can actually use is, because we have all of the applicable classes, we can actually use Blackbeard's ship, which is something we haven't used yet in the OPTC, Legends of OPTC series. So if we've got a shooter, a striker, a slasher, and a fighter on our team, we can use it. And luckily we have all of those, because NL himself is both shooter and striker, so that's pretty dope. So that is the rundown of the team composition. Let's go ahead and run into some content against Coliseum Killer. And here we go. And unfortunately, we didn't have any friend captains this time around, so we had to just use the Bandai friend captain. But okay, this is a pretty scary looking first stage. All of these guys on a 1-turn cooldown. If all of them hit us, we are 100% going to die. So we need to kill at least 2 of them. At least 2 of them. So let's do that. But remember, we want to get as much overhealing as possible. So we actually need to consume a lot of these recovery slots. Alright, here we go. Let's get it. Eat this recovery slot. And we'll kill this one right here. Kind of have to. Otherwise, it'll take too much damage from these guys. Despair. Oh, no. Hopefully, it's not too much. Okay. Yeah, good. Okay. Luckily. And this guy binds probably the same amount, right? Beautiful. Love to see it. Okay, so the blue guy actually didn't attack. Okay, I did not know that. Would have been nice to know. Could have kept him alive. But it is what it is. Let's see here. We want to do just... We're going to be doing lots of stall. Lots of stall. Very similar to this. Okay, the strength characters do too much damage to those dex mobs. And actually, a lot of these mobs are probably going to be dex in this content, aren't they? That's going to be annoying. Alright, let's go ahead and get this recovery. And we'll stall one more turn. But remember, every time you consume a lot of recovery, depending on how much you heal, NL gives you a higher multiplier. So that's the really annoying thing about NL, is trying to get the applicable stall so that you're healing. So if we tap and hold on him, we can see the amount beyond max HP that we've healed, and we've only healed 18,000 for the first couple of turns here. And remember, the max cap is 200,000. So I don't think we're going to reach it, but we do have Marco, which can give us a pretty substantial boost. So let's go ahead and heal with these, and then get rid of as many slots as we possibly can before moving on to the next stage. So Battle 5, and remember as well, because we are using a Bandai friend captain, stalling for our friend captain specials is going to be pretty annoying, I think. It shouldn't be too bad though, because we can just use them on the last stage. Yeah, I guess it's not too bad, but remember, when we reach the stage 4, we actually do want to make sure that Law is almost ready, or if not, pretty much ready to go. That's going to be important as well. So once again, just going to consume those recovery slots. Consume. That's a really hard thing, is trying to balance out tapping to get those recovery slots, and then also, you know, enough to not kill the mobs either, because we don't want them to die. We don't want to move on too quickly, because we do need to charge our specials too. Let's target the one on a 1-turn cooldown. Get rid of some of these. Okay. This guy's going to hit us. That's not too bad. And remember, NL is reducing our HP by 20% per one, so we actually would have a pretty substantial amount of health right here, but, you know, it is what it is. Go ahead and do it again. Man, we're not really healing for that much, which really does suck, but there's not really much else we can do, you know? Okay, so we're moving on to Battle 3 now. We actually have a turtle here, which is good to see. I believe that green guy is he's gonna bind our strength units. I don't know how many turns he binds for, but I guess we can just use this time to stall on him, get those recovery slots out, kill him. And we're going to take some damage from the dinosaur, but it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, that's fine. 4,800. Yeah, we'll eat that up. Though that is a lot, though, because we're not going to be overhealing with these recovery slots. Remember, it only counts the healing that you do when you're at max HP. So it's hard when you take too much damage. You won't be able to get enough overhealing. I honestly kind of want to kill this dinosaur here. Because we're just going to take too much damage. Yeah, that would have been like nearly 10,000 damage if we took that. We need more recovery slots. Thank you, that's exactly what we wanted. Okay. No, do not target the turtle just yet. Okay, I probably shouldn't have attacked with the Kainu there. Killing this guy too quickly. Alright, we really need some good RCV slot luck right now to get some good healing. Okay. Bit of damage. And... oh man, our luck is terrible. Alright, let's just get rid of these slots. Alright, we're moving on to stage 4. We haven't healed that much at all. So I hope that it's okay. Remember, we do have the Macro special, which we're definitely using on this stage because we need NL special to be relatively highly charged so that when we use it, we can get as much damage as possible. If I remember correctly, he had... how much HP did this guy have? I have the little article up here. So Kid has nearly 2.3 million. 2.3 million. We're only doing 600,000 with this special, so we're going to need some pretty good healing right here. Should we? No, we'll save Marco for the next turn. That's what we're going to do. So let's hit our perfects. Let's just do damage here. We are full HP, so we can go ahead and pick up these recovery slots. Good, good, good. That was an extra, nearly 5,000 healing. So Kid's going to do some damage to us here. And I believe he gives us badly matching slots. Yeah, okay, so we're going to use Marco here. So Marco's going to heal a very substantial amount of HP. I think it's like, what, 55, 65,000 or something like that? Yeah, 55,000. So what's NL charge at now? So now he's doing 1.1 million damage when we launch his special, so that's pretty good. So when we get into around 50%, we can launch our special and just kill him, which is good. Unfortunately for us, though, we don't have any recovery slots at this point, so we'll just go ahead and do normal attacks once again. Not much else we can do. And then hopefully get some recovery slots in this next turn. Okay. Pretty good, pretty good. Boom. Eat those recovery slots. Really good damage against Kid as well. 700k, very, very nice. Right, so he is just above 50%. We're at 1.2 million damage here. We'll get another turn here of some cooldown. But I believe below 30% he does really nasty stuff, so we don't want to deal with that. Okay, so it's getting really, really close now. We are at 1.2 million again. It's really hard because we're not really healing for that much. I think we'll just take this time to heal. We're not even going to do damage. Let's just heal. Let's just pick up these recovery slots, man. We can just sit here for days, bro. We can just sit here for days. What are we at now? 1.3, so we're getting closer. I want to be at around 1.5. But I think that's going to take a little bit too long. I don't want to sit here for too long, you know? This ain't like a Corazon video. This ain't a Shirahoshi video. Alright, good healing. We really need a turn where we get like 5 recovery slots. That would be good. Uh-oh, what's he doing? He does attack up. Okay, we might have to just go in right now. Alright, let's go ahead and use the Law special. So, the really cool thing about Law is that when we use his special on stage 2, it makes all of our damage-dealing specials bypass enemy defensive effects. So, it means that NL, he's going to do damage through this barrier. So, here we go. We're going to use this special. It should do 1.3 million damage. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Mamada Gun. Yes, sir. Dude, NL, he's such a cool character. Such a cool character. Boom, 1.3 million damage. And we move on to the final boss stage versus Killer. Now, Killer's actually not too bad. He really doesn't do much. He just attacks every turn. He does his preemptive attack. He doesn't do anything below any HP threshold at all. So the only real thing to worry about is on the revive. So he does revive, he does attack down and all of that, but that's why we have Elizabello, because Elizabello, he's a really good character for NL because it takes a long time to clear content with him. So we can use the special ability of Akainu here. This is going to make our 50 cost or higher characters get a 1.75 attack boost for 2 turns. And he also shuffles our slots around too, so we get a little bit of a high chance to get some recovery slots back. Nice, very good. So now we can just attack. And then once we feel comfortable, we can just launch specials to win. That's pretty much it. We need to get some health back, that's for sure. Would be nice to get closer back to full. We need a couple of good turns of recovery slots. That is not a good turn of recovery slots. But because of the Akainu special, we actually have really good damage output on these first few turns. Very good. Wow, we've done a pretty good amount of damage to him. Kainu special, way too good, man. Way too good. Oh, that is a fantastic turn for recovery slots. What are we at? We're at 1.35, so it's another 1.35 million damage. How much HP does this killer have? I think it was 3 million? 3.1. I think we got to get him a little bit lower first. And then once we do that, we'll be able to shoot off a special. Okay. I think I feel pretty comfortable launching our special here. So let's go ahead and launch the Mamaragan once again with the NL special ability. And this should wave clear him. And then we basically just win. Yes, there it is. There it is. Killer's down. He revives. He inflicts attack down. I think he gives us a full board of strength slots. Yeah. Heavy attack down and strength slots. And now we can just use the Elizabello special and get the dub. Pretty much. I mean, like, realistically, you could replace, you know, this with, like, Shirahoshi or something for more healing if you really wanted to go that route. But, obviously not the fastest team to clear content with, but still a lot of fun to actually be actively playing the game with a very interesting character to clear content. Very, very cool to use this guy. So that's going to end this video today, and next week's episode is we get to cover V1 Sanji. That's going to be a really cool one. You know, Sanji's first legend in One Piece Treasure Cruise, and it should be kind of interesting. He has a really cool mechanic, so I'm really looking forward to showcasing that to all of you guys out there in next week's episode. And then the week after that is when Lucy comes out, which is pretty nuts that we're already at Legend Lucy. We're already that deep into the Legends of OPTC. So thank you so much for the continued support on this series, guys. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.